Greetings fellow Decepticons, this is Sound Blaster 1987, concluding my TFNation 2018 Hall Quadrilogy with Transformers Universe 2.0 2008 Autobot Blaster with Block Rock. This is a straight repaint in red, black and silver of the 2005-2006 Cybertron, Galaxy Force, Soundwave and Sound Blaster mold, which comes with Laserbeak in Soundwave colours and Hell Buzzsaw in Sound Blaster colours. This version of Sound Blaster was also known as Logos Prime of the original 13 Primes in some timelines. But anyway, on to Blaster. Blaster here is, as you can see, a Cyberdronian/Planet X stealth bomber design. However, it does suffer from the usual Transformers Cybertron toy line problem of vehicle mode gaps. And also, these keep coming off. You see, the whole point of being a stealth bomber is to drop bombs, and all three of Blaster's accessories can convert into bombs to be stored on the aircraft. One of which is inside the chest cavity, and the other two are stored in the indents of the wings. These we'll come back to later as they form the robot mode's handheld weaponry. Now, given that I bought this guy loose at TFNation, I did not actually get it with the correct cyber key. Instead, I got a replica of the cyber key that came with Cybertron Primus, which I already have. I'll review him at another time. So instead, I will be using this cyber key, which I borrowed from Cybertron Deluxe Red Alert. Just shove it into the back of the fuselage and pray to Unicron that it works, because it's a very old toy with a lot of dusty parts and stiff springs, but press it firmly enough in and, provided my fingers are not in the way of a hinge, a bomb falls out. We'll get back to this later. But first, to transform Blaster from stealth bomber to robot, remove the key. Close the chest cavity. We'll get back to that later. I find it easiest to remove the cockpit canopy outright because it will just spring off anyway otherwise, because the hinge is worn and there's no metal pin keeping it stuck. Next, disconnect the feet from the front of the fuselage. And disconnect the legs and swing the waist assembly back. Bring the tail fins out of the way. Bring up the loincloth part from the torso. Connect the waist and torso together. Bearing in mind this is all friction based, it doesn't actually lock anywhere properly. Another flaw with this toy line. I know TJ Omega loves the Cybertron toy line, but let's be honest, it has a few flaws. This is why I'm glad that third-party companies like Make Toys and Cold Constructs are making masterpiece-style Cybertron designs now. So, lock the waist in place, rotate the lower leg, fold up the foot and the heel. Straighten the knee. Again, very stiff joints because it's a very old toy that apparently the previous owner didn't use very often. So, joints have stiffened up, things have gone damaged, etc, etc. Typical fare for a TFNation loose purchase. Then, come back to the wing shell and untangle the arms from each other. Bearing in mind that the shoulder tabs for this figure are broken in my personal copy. If you have any version of this figure yourself, it will most likely still be intact, provided it was not a loose eBay purchase or something. Bring the arms out. Swing the whole body down and into place. On your copy you'll be able to peg the arms in properly. I sadly cannot. Well, the left arm I can, the right one not so much. Then flip the nose cone back against the right forearm. Flatten the tail fins. Bring the double hinged head platform down, rotate it, and reattach the cockpit canopy to the back of the left forearm, which is where it would be if it hadn't sprung off. May need to jump cut this part, it can be awkward.
Action.
Apologies for any random jump cuts that may have happened in the editing process there, but this is Universe 2 Blaster in his robot mode. I initially bought this because of its black colours, thinking it was Sound Blaster from Galaxy Force, aka Logos Prime, after whom I named my channel. I was not too unpleasantly surprised when I turned out to discover that it was in fact Autobot Blaster instead. Oh well, these things happen. On to the weapons. As you can see, these hexagonal prisms were the bombs from the indents in the wings, shown in vehicle mode. They unfold into weapons like so. Again, this is a very old toy, stiff joints and all. More jump cuts may be required here. Ah, got it. So, this is Soundwave's handheld weapon, which can be wielded in either fist, allegedly. That's better. And this is This is Soundwave's shoulder-mounted cannon, which explains the hole on his right shoulder. If I can just get it in here, hang on. Bear with me. Doesn't always like to go in this thing. Got it. There. Now he's got his iconic shoulder launcher. You can tell this was originally meant to be a Soundwave toy rather than a blaster one. As you can also tell from the stylized head design, which has an extremely powerful sense of light piping. Except the Marvel Comics G1 blaster face guard thing has been painted over the visor to, again, evoke the look of G1 blaster more than Soundwave. I never truly thought Blaster should have had a mouth plate, as almost every blaster repaint of Soundwave seems to have these days, barring Titan's return and fall of Cybertron. Anyway, the final accessory, this bomb converts into a robotic condor. Just display the feathers, bring up the tail. Turn the talons inside out, so they're facing downwards. And raise the head up. This is Blaster's mechanical minion, Blockrock, who is a straight repaint and pretty much colour swap of Cybertron Laserbeak and Galaxy Force Hell Buzzsaw. He's got a peg on his underbelly that allows him to mount on the inside the hand of, or on top of the shoulder of, any version of the Cybertron Soundwave or Universe Blaster mold. Like so. This is how the stock photos for Cybertron Soundwave had Laserbeak displayed at first. Now, coming back to what I said about TJ Omega earlier, the Cyberkey gimmick in robot mode refers to TJ Omega's top 5 inappropriate Transformer gimmicks Plastic Addict episode by shoving the key up his rear end. I imagine this would not have been so difficult for Soundwave, being emotionless and all, but Blaster thrives on its emotions, so this is gonna hurt. And because of part clearance, I can't even get in there now. That's awkward. Now, for size comparisons. Titan's Return blurred to Kara Legends release. Animated Jazz in vehicle mode, which I should have used as a vehicle mode size comparison. I'll have to jump cut that in the editing. Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Plus Lockdown. You can see why Lockdown has been mistaken for a Voyager in robot mode sometimes. In fact, if I extend his legs to his full height, he is ever so slightly taller of a head than Blaster, but Blaster's big wings still get in the way of the true height championship. And here is a size comparison of Blockrock, the Cybertron Laserbeak mold, with Armada Demolisher's Minicon partner Blackout, and Takara Legends Blur's Titan Master, who, given the scenes Laserbeak had in Generation 1, is pretty much to scale with that scene where Spike got kidnapped by Laserbeak that one time. And that just about wraps things up for this review. So, that concludes my TFNation 2018 haul. Stay tuned till September when I reveal my 2019 TFNation haul. My next review will be of either Generation Sandstorm or Animated Jazz, whichever I decide. Until then, this is Sound Blaster 1987, signing off till all are one.